So it's 4 below 0. It's an extremely cold night. Very cold. And I'm extremely worried about my father. My dad's my best friend. And he's a very special, and super talented artist. He's the best artist alive today, the best artist that I've ever known. His paintings are really extraordinary. And as I've gotten older, I've only grown closer to my father and gained a better understanding of what went into the paintings and how intense they are. He's able to put his mind into a place where most of us seek with a lot of effort to achieve being in that state of mind, but he seems to do it naturally, as if he has some ability to tap into a place of creativity and free-flowing imagination that's uninterrupted and being channeled directly into his hand as he dances with the paintbrush. So he wants nothing more than to live and continue making his artwork. And despite all the pain and the health complications he has, he still wants to keep fighting to stay alive, and he deserves the best possible life, free of pain. He's suffered a great much in his life, and it's really, really sad, and I cannot stand the thought of losing my dad. I was very blessed to have a mom like this, and I feel extremely alone and devastated that my dad's been suffering a lot. And life has a way of making you not want to look at the past and just try to improve the future, because time is too short to have regrets and think about, oh, what I should have did or could have did, because it doesn't matter. It's in the past. It's done already. So I'm going to try to spend as much quality time with my dad and ease his suffering and his pain, and do our best to get him back in the studio and making some artwork. Okay, it's middle of January. It's 4 below 0. And my dad had to be hospitalized to manage his pain. And he was throwing up, and a type of gastroparesis, as well as several other complications. He may have had a fracture, may have had another fracture on his rib, or a tumor pushing on the nerve somewhere. It's been a terribly difficult winter so far for him. He's had a couple fractures on his shoulders and was hospitalized about a month and a half ago for that. Was given some radiation. He now has myelodysplasia syndrome from all the methotrexate and other chemotherapy drugs that he was given. He did have 2 stem cell transplants, which saved his life and got him out of a wheelchair. And for 10 years, he was walking around, and then treated with immunotherapy. And the cancer's pretty much been in remission up until, say, about a year or 2 ago, when it started to spike again. It just spiked again recently. He had a bone marrow biopsy, and it seems to have spread a bit, and it's still causing the bones to be brittle. So what we're going to try to do is continue with him managing his pain. He's been needing blood transfusions and of red blood cells and platelets. And what we've come to discover is that maitake is helping him avoid needing more hemoglobin. It's keeping his hemoglobin and red blood cell count up. So what we're doing is managing that, and when he can stomach it and tolerate it, turkey tail for his immune system, and hopefully to shrink some of the tumors. because at this point the oncologist has informed us that he really can't do much, especially with his blood the way it is, where he's not producing enough red blood cells in his bone marrow, because the DNA in those cells was damaged from all the years of treatment that he received, which saved his life and alleviated a lot of his suffering. But now we're at a point where we need to make sure he can continue to eat well, and function here without being in excruciating pain, which unfortunately he's been in, and he's developed a very high tolerance to the medication he's been prescribed, and he's tried different types of synthetic opioid medications and had bad reactions to them. So my plan is also to get him a massage, hydrotherapy massage thing here at home. I don't have the funds to install a big one in the bathroom or the time right now. We do have to renovate the bathroom, but I was thinking of getting a temporary one, because we also need to get a more reliable car. I'm very concerned about our financial situation, and my dad needs to just be able to focus on eating, waking up, taking a shower, taking care of himself, and not have to worry about bills or stress about money and worrying about the future. I'm very worried how I'm going to be able to afford the mortgage payments and as well as the bills, even if I did return to work full time. However, that's something I've promised my dad, is that I will never sell this house, and I'm going to guard the major big paintings, so that they're never sold, but they can be leased to a museum. And this house is something that my mother and father have worked very hard for, and it's all I have. And not that possessions are all that important, but when your mom and dad make beautiful artwork, it really is. Okay. Not every day is a great, fun, happy day. And most especially if someone you love, you care for deeply, is in pain and suffering, and you feel like you can't do much for them. So it's 4 degrees below zero, and my dad's in the hospital. I had to leave him there. They wouldn't let me stay there, let alone have visitors in certain parts of the hospital. So been in and out the emergency room quite a bit the past few weeks, and he's been having a lot of pain.